Hey VC, how's it going? Right, okay, another Lost in the Grooves video. This is just an excuse for me to show a few records which are perhaps a bit underappreciated, or the records that I think need a little bit more attention. So all three records on the show today, they are all gospel records. Now, I've been watching Nadine's channel recently, Soul Disco. Now, I think most people that watch my channel will know of Nadine. She shows loads of great soul, funk and disco. But recently, she's been showing a string of gospel releases. Now, there's clearly a massive crossover with soul and gospel music. Now, so many great soul singers, some of the real greats, you know, like Sam Cooke, maybe Staples, Aretha Franklin, all started off singing in the church. And then you've got other soul singers such as Al Green or Solomon Burke, who made secular records and then went on to become, well, the Reverend Al Green, or Solomon Burke became a minister, didn't he? You know, so they went on to sing in the church. Now, despite that crossover, a lot of gospel music just leaves me cold. Now, I'll start off by saying what I like about gospel music. I like the fact that, you know, it's music that has a purpose, you know, so it's meant to be sung in churches or places of worship. It's designed to bring people together. It's uplifting, you know, it's an expression of someone's faith. Wonderful. But because of that, and because it has that set purpose, a lot of the time it's so formulaic. It's like blues. You know, I've said before that I'm not a massive fan of traditional blues because of that, that set formula. And gospel is a little bit like that. Now, I think the records on the show today are slightly outside of that. So starting off with this record. Now, this is something I picked up quite recently. This is Myrna Summers and the Interdenominational Singers. The album's called Now. Now, I was into a podcast recently, and it wasn't a soul or a gospel podcast. It was actually a podcast about the Beatles. And the person in the podcast was making a point just how difficult it is to make a song sound joyful, to create music which sounds joyous without it sounding forced. And I totally agree with that. Now, I'm going to play a track for this, and it helps that this song is actually called Joy. It's the first track on side 2. But it's one of those pieces of music that when you hear it, automatically it lifts you up, you know, it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, you know, it gives you that feeling in your stomach, you know, it's a beautiful piece of music. And now her voice is gorgeous as well. It's certainly that sort of same style of singing as Aretha Franklin. And this is very much the type of gospel music that I like. So see what you think. Now, I'd love to see more gospel music shown in the VC. I think that anybody with a soul music collection, in amongst those records, they may well have one or two gospel records. You know, let's see that stuff. But yeah, so every now and again, though, in the VC, certainly over the last 10 years, there's been one or two gospel records which VC video makers have really latched onto. One of which is this. This is Andrew Wart's and the Gospel Storytellers with There Is a God Somewhere. A beautiful gospel record. Original copies go for big money, but this is a fantastic reissue that came out, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, something like that. But the gospel record that I've seen shown most is certainly this one. The Supreme Jubilees with It'll All Be Over. I think this is 1980. This is a reissue on Light in the Attic. If you don't know this record, check it out on YouTube or Spotify, whatever. You can hear the whole thing. And that's the key thing about this record, is that it's a gospel album which is wonderful from start to finish. We're not just talking about one or two songs. It's got its own feel throughout the album. Lots of nice little Fender Rose piano on there. Great vocals, of course, and great songwriting as well. So yeah, definitely one worth checking out. As I say, it's been shown a lot over the years, but that's not going to stop me doing a needle drop on one of the tracks. So I think I'll do a needle drop on the title track. Track 1, side 1, it'll all be over.
One of these old days, we ain't gonna have to cry no more. You see, God's gonna wipe away all our tears. He gonna wipe the tears, yeah. He gonna wipe the tears from your eyes. Do you hear me out there this evening? I said we ain't gonna cry. We ain't gonna cry no more. One of these old days, yeah. One of these old days, it'll all be over. It'll all be over. It'll all be over. And we won't have to cry no more. And we won't have to cry no more.
And finally, I'm just going to show a 60s gospel record. This is the Reynolds Singers with Telling It Like It Is. Now, this is an interesting record because it features a young Thelma Houston on vocals. So again, another soul singer who started off singing gospel and went on to sing soul and eventually disco, etc. But this is a gorgeous record, quite a cheap record as well. If you can track it down, I'd certainly recommend it. Now, I'm gonna do a needle drop on a track called Jesus Is Just Alright, which has been done by many gospel groups and gospel singers, but also has been done by rock bands over the years as well. So I think you may well know versions by the likes of the Doom Brothers. But yeah, I'll do a needle drop on it. But there you go, 3 gospel records, all slightly different, but certainly all interesting. So cheers.